Sat around the table here, stories last, the vibe is clear. What you bring is what we share. Every plate's got love to spare. Open hearts and open minds, you'll find a seat every time. The potluck podcast, come take a bite. Everyone's welcome day or night. What's on your plate? What's your view? We're cooking up something fresh with you. We're cooking up something fresh with you.
Che whānau, no mai, pull up, take a seat at the table. It's the Potluck Podcast, where you get your half-baked takes. So come on in. We've got a bit of a guest with us today, the bro Neitana, who's stepping in for one of the boys that couldn't be here, and Pirikura, one of our OG chefs. So, no mai, Neitana, we wanted to start off by, bit of whakapapa to your name,
Yeah.
just to get to know who you are.
Just my first name, or
Kei au koe, bro.
it's a funny story about my name. I got an older brother who's about 5 years older than me. And when he was born, he took all the rangatira tupuna names. Yeah, so when it came to me, and I was on my mama's puku, that sort of stuck because there's no tupuna names left for me. So they went and bought a Maori names book. And they went through, and then they found Neitana. And they just landed on that for me, and that was sort of that. And then for my middle name, Te Kairangi, that I believe comes from down south, Ngātahu land. And it's a type of greenstone, the Kairangi. And it's a rare type of greenstone. So I guess they decided that I was going to be a rare human being.
Yeah, you're a rare type of beast there, bro.
Yeah, bro, yeah. It's a bit of whakapapa around where my name sort of came from and the whakaaro behind it, yeah.
Cheer, my bro. Thank you. My bro. So we start off usually just seeing what's been on people's plates, what's been happening for them, either in your own personal or just what's been, I guess, in your view for the last little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So what's been going on, brother?
Well, not a lot, but a lot at the same time, Been getting back on the hurdle journey. Been gymming and dieting for about 4 weeks now.
Oh, solid.
And down 7 kgs. So happy with that. Good up. But I sort of plateaued the last week or so, but I can feel myself getting stronger at the gym too, so
Nice.
hoping it's gaining muscle, still losing fat.
Nice.
Yeah, and also at the same time, I've been adding on more sort of daily habits to sort of improve lifestyle as well. I'm sort of trying to wake up earlier to get more out of the day.
Oh, true.
Trying to read at night instead of just falling asleep, watching
Love it.
podcasts.
Love it.
But yeah, sort of just trying to take those steps towards Haora. But yeah, other than that, just mahi, same as always.
What's the book on your bedside table at the moment, bro?
It is a book by Monty Sauta, I think is his name.
Yeah, Monty Suta.
Suta, sorry. It's the second of the trilogy for the Kawa series.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the first book and I'm just starting the second one now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's cool because it's a korero around mokopuna going back out to the country to talk to the kaumātua. That's how the scene's set in the book. And then the rest of the book is the korero that the kaumātua is giving back to them, talking about olden day stories, all fiction, but, it talks about all of our Māori tikanga kaua, how we lived back then, how the wars were, how we lived, all sorts of things. It's real interesting to read.
Bit of fiction, but based on fact.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, wicked. And yourself, Pirikura? What's been on your plate? I think you've got a bit on your plate at the moment, eh?
Well, bro, Yes, got a bit on my plate. I was a little bit late to this filming because I live semi-rurally, and so we have tank water, not town water, I guess, and the water pumps on the frets. So yeah, that's like a later problem. I just put that on pause for now. But sort of speaking to the holder thing, and I think the episode last week as well, where Sidu cancelled his city fitness membership. I had also cancelled. I wasn't able to be to film last week, but I also cancelled my gym membership for Zenith
Yes.
Fitness that I had for like 2 years. That I probably went for the first 6 months. So yeah,
What are we
that was
doing?
like yay moment for me. I called a
too.
few times and I don't know, it felt really hard to cancel, and then I figured out how to do it, so without going in. So that was good. And I love the holder kaupapa that you're saying you're on, Naitana, because I always think I really want to go to bed earlier or like read or this or that. And then I think everyone does it and I'm the only one in the world who doesn't. So to know that there's other people out there, I'll get on the bandwagon one day.
Too. Yeah, hard.
Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to get some of that morning in, trying to
Yeah.
make a bit more consistent kind of thing. Trying to do like the 5:30 kind of jam. It actually sucks because it's actually really 5:30 wake up and then go to work. It's not
Yeah.
like a 5:30 go to the gym or do anything like that. But yeah, I just spent the Waitangi weekend heading back up to the coast. Went back up to Toko. Went and saw some of the whānau at one of my uncle's birthdays. But it was the first time I've gotten to take my 2 girls up home, and so it was real awesome to take them up there and for them to for my baby to get to sleep under her maunga, get to sleep next to her
Yeah.
awa, and get to see what her ako's like. I didn't grow up the coast. I grew up in Palmy under the ruahines, and so it's awesome. Yeah, so not too much on my plate at the moment other than whānau stuff. Other than that, I'm just cruising at the moment. Mahi's ramping up at the moment on the political side of stuff, but yeah, that's fun. I enjoy that mahi, so it doesn't feel too much like mahi at times. We've got a few things on our tepu today, and so I thought we would talk about some of David Farah wanting to, starting a conversation about us becoming the 7th state of Australia. And I was wanting to get you guys, I guess, for whakaaro on what that would mean to you guys.
I don't know. Aussie's pretty handy, man.
Yeah, they're a bit out of it.
I think it's like, there's obviously positives, but I feel like there's a lot more negatives we can look at too. Like when you're looking in terms of our identity, not only as for us being Indigenous people, but our identity as New Zealand. We could just become one of those not ignored states, but less cared about states, sort of like how Tasmania is, because we're all the way over there, and their parliament will be in Canberra, and we got our beehive, but it will become useless because our parliament's over in Australia now.
Yeah.
Like where do we have our voice? Where do we have our say? And what would there be to ensure that we're still treated the way we would be if we kept our own government? So I think looking at the identity, the voice within democracy and how that would change is quite a big one.
Yeah.
But then also looking at the economic opportunities, it would allow that space to grow for us. But even then, it would be completely eliminating a dollar. Because the New Zealand dollar wouldn't exist, we'd go to Australian dollar. So then what would that look like? Like, there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, actually just thinking about that, like it made me think of, what about the Cook Islands? They use our dollar. And they are, what are they called then? I don't want to say they're a Dominion state or whatever it is, but, they're like a part of New Zealand and they have our passports and stuff like that. So would those other countries just get swept up in all of this too and then have to become a part of Aussie as well?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is interesting, to think about it that way.
Yeah, I'll play a bit off David Farrer's whakaros on why. That is hoha. Well, all right. I'm gonna bounce on that because that's just not gonna work. But I was talking a lot about wanting to join as the seventh state for security reasons, and thinking that we have to have a bigger army, a bigger economy, and talking about the rule-based order that's slowly breaking in the world. And so he was thinking that we needed to buddy up with them. Well, he argues that we need to be bigger to survive, which is, I don't know, it really felt a little bit cucky to me. Felt like I don't know, I don't think Kiwis bend the knee, let alone Māoris want to bend the knee to Aussie. And so yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely a lot of
right. Like if you look at it's talking about security and our safety as a nation, our defence force works so closely with them anyway, and has done throughout history. Looking at Anzacs, we literally have a public holiday called Anzac Day. You know, we fight beside them for just about everything. So if we are invaded or they're invaded, we're always going to support each other regardless. You know, and we have a relationship that goes back centuries now.
Yeah.
And we're so close that, you know, we can go over there to work, they can come over here. And our lines in terms of immigration compared to relationships with other countries is a lot different. So you already sort of have an agreement where we're not an official state, but people can jump between the two quite freely.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, we're effectively already doing that while still holding our own mana and our own identity.
Yeah, for me, it's just a straight no. I don't even have a reason.
Don't need a reason. It's just like straight no. I don't want a bar of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of good things, like we were saying earlier about Aussie. Like, they do have some good things, but I don't know. I just know they're handiers and a lot of things too.
Well, I don't want any of them.
Just like driving fines and like traffic fines and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. A friend, I haven't fact checked this, but a friend was saying that like if you get caught on your phone driving, it's like a 10K fine, like on their cameras and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And just don't do things like that, which is like good, because I think we do need to be. I still see people on their phones here in New Zealand while they're driving. But like, yeah, I don't know. Too handy for me.
Yeah. I mean, they already own our banks, our supermarkets, our insurance, you know, they own pretty much all of us. I guess this for them is just like solidifying that they really own us. And I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want a bar of that sort of stuff. And like, you know, like the way we do foreign policy is actually really different. The way that we help the Pacific is really, really different as well. The way that we engage in the Pacific is different to the Aussies. And the Pacific actually really prefers us to the Aussies in the way that they deal with them. Like, we are definitely a lot more about relationships and soft power, whereas I think places like Australia are slowly turning into more kind of Americans and things like that. And so, yeah, like one thing that would be interesting is what sort of changes us joining Australia would do for the Indigenous people, because, you know, they're in a very dire, I don't know, I'm saying dire state from the outside, and so obviously I'm not there, and I don't know what's on the ground, and they probably are doing amazing things, but, you know, like, yeah, maybe that strengthens their relationships with their whatever their tangata tiritias or whatever they call themselves over there. But, you know, like, they couldn't even get that voice referendum through. And so, you know, like, maybe buddying up with us would give them more push to do things as well. But I don't know. That was kind of like the only positive I could think of about this sort of stuff, eh? I was like, everything else, I'm like, man, what happens to the All Blacks? Do we dump the All Blacks then? Is there no more Kiwis team? We just all Aussies?
Yeah.
A
Oh my
state of
gosh, imagine
origins?
that. I'm an Australian.
No way.
Hell no.
Yeah. No, I think it was, I think it was a bit of a dumb take. Like, he should have wrote, we should become a republic. You know, like, we should really stand on our own 2 feet. And if you want to talk about really buddying, like, and really, like, joining people or countries together, hey, we should be joining with the Pacific. Like, not with Aussie. Aussie 501's people to us. You know, like, they don't care about us. Like, they're just hoha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd much rather join the Pacific. I've got one clip that I thought was quite funny and interesting reason why we wouldn't want to join the Australians.
Would it be accurate to say that the tax on offshore gas exports, PRT, is still giving us less revenue than the tax on beer?
Have a look. Just bear with me a second. In 25, 26 in my info, taxes on beer, we're expecting 2.7 billion. Taxes from PWRT, 1.5, so yes, lower than.
How do we live in a country, one of the biggest gas exporters in the world, and we're getting more tax from beer than PRT? Maybe it's one for the minister. This is it's a political decision.
An opinion. Well, we've made changes to the PRRT that we got through the Parliament. Other areas of tax reform for us right now, the priority is delivering on our election commitments and on including the bill that the Treasurer introduced today.
So what David Pocock, who is an ex-Australian rugby player, was talking about in that video is that they're raising the tax on beer and they're reaping more tax from beer than they are from their gas. And so their gas sales are bringing in shit all tax for them, and they're one of the biggest suppliers of gas. But their beer taxes are bringing in more revenue for them, which is crazy.
Yeah, I was watching this, I don't know if it was like a TikTok or a reel or something, and this guy was comparing like food for a family of 4 or something, like versus New Zealand versus Australia. And then so they got, like the meat, the veg, the this, the that, and then beers. And then so all of their food was cheaper, but then their like beer was obviously more expensive. So it worked out like $20 cheaper to buy the kai. I'll buy the same thing here in New Zealand. They're like, yeah, it is cheaper for a family of 4 in New Zealand, but that's with the beer. And it was like just this funny take, and I'm like, yeah, crack out.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world we're living in. Any last whakaaro on that before we...
Just a note, I'm not an Australian. Never will be.
Yeah, I just think it's an interesting concept, and like whether like the fact that they're looking at joining as a state instead of ways to strengthen our alliance, not only with Australia but other allies, other allied countries around the world. Because obviously it stemmed from the ever-changing global political climate, and now all these rules are just evaporating now, and people doing what they want. You think we'd be looking at innovative ways to try and strengthen relationships where we can. So if, shit does hit the fan, then we got a plan.
Yeah, hard out. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm definitely a bit more about let's do it ourselves. Let's not look to Aussie to hold us up. Let's invest in our military then. I've got no problems with that. But, if you're going to invest in military, then train them up properly and give them trades and stuff as well. Give them good education for it. But, like even down to building better economy here with our resources. Yes, do some mining. That's Kei Te Pai, but don't sell it off. Don't sell it all off overseas. Keep that in-house or else we'll never grow. Like, you got to keep that in-house, not sending it overseas to people so we get, 5% on the dollar for them. So, nah. But all right. Now, let's move into, I guess, the bigger kaupapa from Waitangi weekend. And I thought we'd just start by having a look at, like what is the treaty to you? What do you think it is? What do you think it represents? And so, obviously, we're looking at Te Tiriti, not the Treaty of Waitangi, because obviously you default to the original language. You don't
Yeah.
take the Pākehā Treaty as word.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. What's your guys' whakaaro on the treaty?
I think for me, it's just a document, an agreement that gives us right in terms of the Western world. Like in that document, we never ceded sovereignty, and that's still a fight we're fighting today. But that document allowed us to make the colonizers backtrack, look at what they done, and start to compensate that for us. There's so many things that have created positives for us to where we are now in terms of lawmaking, etc. Obviously, this current government has tried to push the boundaries on that and try to change what that looks like in terms of policy and lawmaking. But I feel like, to me, it's just something that, sort of gives us purpose, gives us a voice in terms of our country, even though because of colonization, we're now considered the minority. It still gives us power to determine what happens within. But yeah, that's sort of it for me.
I
So-
think, for me, I think just, on the face of it, it does show like our manakitanga and our whanaungatanga, and that we were happy, more than happy maybe, or very welcoming to people who weren't Indigenous, who weren't Māori, to come here to share this place with us. And then sort of, I guess, from there, I'd say my issue is not necessarily with Te Tiriti or with the Treaty of Waitangi. It's more the policies that came after that, like the Native Schools Act and all those other things.
Native lands.
Yeah, and all of that, those were actually problematic. I don't know how problematic and realistically Te Tiriti actually is. I think, obviously it was well intended. And it was meant, I don't know. I just think, I think there's this false narrative where it's like we're saying we're Māori and everything has to be our way and there's no other right way to do things. Like, I think really we actually are very inclusive. We do want to understand this, that, and everything else. But so for the treaty, that's sort of my thoughts. I'd just say that it's more the policies that came after it that I have an issue with.
Yeah. There's a lot of manakitanga in it that they, and like I say, I think they were willing to share. I don't think they had any problems with other people being here. I mean, they just wanted them to have their own rules for them, and we have our own rules for us, and we can live in a good relationship still. But obviously, what came after that, and all of their kupapa kind of ways after that as well, it didn't play out like that. Then it was a karakia, and he was getting absolutely belted at by the by all of the people that were there. Someone started blowing a putatara while he was doing his karakia. But
I was at their auntie and he's like, "Why did you do that?" And she's like, "He's annoying." Is that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, it's a shame that I can't show you that clip because it's rude, man. But I guess instead, this is probably not going to play either. So we'll see. 100% not going to play.
I love your confidence as you're setting it up that it's going to play. Like, and instead, I'm going to play this.
Hard out. Well, it's there, yeah. Well, because I felt it stink. Like Rawiri Waititi's whakōrero was pretty decent, but when they got up to tautoko him, I don't know if you guys saw Kiri's haka.
Yeah.
And how he got right up in Eru's face. I wonder if I can play this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Whoa.
I can't hear it just by the way.
Oh, aren't you?
No.
She's practically just saying, me mātāmua ona whakaaro, and what she's doing is for the mokopuna. And so that's how she was justifying her I guess her haka at Eru. He's asked if he was obviously still angry, and she said, I'm returning the spew at that dog. And so, yeah, I thought it was interesting because we've always, what played out at Waitangi, in front of everyone for Te Pati Maori and everyone, I don't know, man, that's not the go. And I don't think you can justify it by saying it's for the mokopuna. I don't like that kind of idea that you can, the ends justify the means all the time. I think that sends people down quite dangerous roads, and they start to do anything they think is tika by the mokopuna, which, is really just going to be, is just your own whakaaro. And so, bit of a laughing stock at the moment.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I wanted to get your guys whakaaro on some of that behaviour.
Yeah, for me, it sort of felt like we're just playing right into the current government's hands. Like you say, we're looking like the idiots out on the pai, we're going at each other. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but their haka was actually composed towards the government, and it was utilised, directed at the bro. But there was also some other MPs that were facing the current government. I saw an alternate angle online the other day, and it talked about this. Some of them are facing that way, but all of the media focus on just that one person going out to the left and looking at Kapakingi right in the face. So, it's media is going with the narrative, but we're also fueling it.
Yep.
And, it's election year. We're doing this, at Waitangi, where, yes, it is a proper place to have those kōrero to sort out the raruraru. But at the same time, we got to think about who we're representing when we're on the pai. And what is our purpose of this? Because it's more than just a celebration now. Like these days, it's a political arena. That's what it's been turned into by us, targeting governments in the past. And now here we are making a fool of ourselves over rarus, which are important, and they do need to be sorted. But I don't think it's important for us to show to all of our whānau around the country who have been supporting us through the last 2-3 years. Yes, it's been a stressful time, and that's probably what made emotions boil over to create this raru in the first place, because they've been fighting away, trying to stop the Treaty Principle Bill and others. So these rarus finally came to the surface, and it's caused division. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, what continues as we lead up to election.
Yeah, harder. I do also see it in that political arena space. So I only take it for face value, similar to what Nathan was saying. I think it happened on RT and all those sorts of things. Yeah, cool. And I am just not even with this, but just in general, I do think that we as people do need to bring things to light more instead of hiding them.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the generation before us did that a lot. And this is not even political things. This is just life stuff. But then I also agree with what Nathan is saying in terms of at this time with everything that is happening, and it is a election year and all of that sort of stuff. And sort of to what you're saying as well, Sidu, the means outweighing the cause and all of that sort of stuff. Did it need to happen like that? Did it need to play out like that? I don't know. There's been other opportunities, I'm sure.
Yep.
So, on one part, I would say when I saw it, I was like, yeah, good on you, to Kitty. But then on the other hand, I also agree with what you guys say in terms of we are playing into their hand, man. And it does come across that we're not united, that we're not, the cost, sort of what you were saying, Naitana, over the last couple of years, even to whānau, just to join the hikoi, was that last year or the year before? Can't remember. But the time off work, the getting to Wellington, most likely, I know a lot of people stayed there the night before,
Yeah.
then the kai, then the you know, even just that one thing for how many people went, huge cost financially, but there's also other costs that are happening out there too. So yeah, I don't know. Part of me does feel like, oh, it's a bit of a shame, but part of me does feel like, good on you, girl.
Just for like more sunlight type thing, do you reckon Eru was right then to the way he pursued it all and went online first and went out onto all those podcasts and stuff like that and set his piece online? Do you think that's kind of appropriate?
When it first happened, I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. He's getting ahead of it, like he's been accountable to the people, all these things. But the more it went on, I was like, this is embarrassing. I wish I'd never even followed this kaupapa in terms of Toitu Te Tiriti. And I think I've got a sticker on my laptop. I'm like, oh, shame. All these sorts of things. But I mean, that was how I was feeling initially. And then now, yeah, I don't even know where it stands. I don't have a clue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind that he went on socials and stuff like that. You know, like it is, like you said, just talking about all the people that got out and went to that hikoi. You know, I feel like it was kind of an ode to them, so they could see everything that was happening and sort of probably deserve to see everything that was happening there. Yeah, don't keep it hidden, but also don't eat each other in front of everyone. Like, you couldn't turn up to Waitangi for a day and squash your shit and talk about the government. Like, you couldn't do that and then just have your beefs tomorrow. You couldn't take that one day off. Too many egos up in there, man. A lot of egos, a lot of buzzy shit. Like, one interesting thing I heard was someone saying that Shane Jones is actually backing and is doing a lot of the funding and stuff for the Kapakingis. I was like, oh, that's buzzy. But I guess they're all whānau up there as well. You know, they're all from the north. They're all from the Nota. So, you know, if that's true, then like, what is, you know, how they supportive of someone like Shane Jones and all his mining shit? And then especially that he's a part of New Zealand First and they want to get rid of the Māori seats.
Well, wasn't, I don't know, this is like, we'll have to fact check this, but wasn't there like this whole thing about the day the hikoi happened was when they went and met with the Far North about mining? Yeah, like there was this big, like, not conspiracy, but conspiracy theory about how, yeah, that's like it was a distraction.
From the conversations that were happening up north.
Yeah. In regards to mining.
Yeah, well, he's everywhere on mining. You know, he was over in Aussie talking to them over there, trying to gain confidence from people over there. You know, they're all trying to build their LNG plant out in Taranaki and stuff at the moment while trying to get that through. And yeah, there's like, the same thing is it's just it's not going to belong to any of us.
Yeah, I think for me, just getting back to your patoa around a couple of key gain on these podcasts and that, I think it was a good idea for him to say his side because Pati Maori had their chance to say theirs. They had all the media in front of them, all of that. So you got reporters, mainstream media coming to you, and he had to find his opportunity to get it out there. And one of my favourite sayings is, there's always two sides to the story, and the truth is always somewhere in the middle. And they say, like, once you have two sides, you can sort of compare statements, compare stories, compare facts, and sort of kind of find your own understanding for Karo around an event that's happened. So I think that was important just so everyone could sort of form their own opinion, form their own understanding. Because when there's only one side of a story, you're just going to take that story. You know, and at the end of the day too, like going back to you saying, can they not just drop their beef, you know, at the door, come into Waitangi and focus on, you know, the important things for everyone else? Because, you know, like that's their beef, kapai. That's important to them. They got the court battles, they got all their drama. But the rest of the whānau anywhere around the motu, we're not worried about your fella's little drama.
Yeah, hard.
We actually want to know what you're campaigning on, want to know what you're challenging the opposition on. Like, that's what we're focused on, that's what we want to see, that's what we want to hear. But yeah, that's just sort of my 2 cents on my opinion on that, eh?
Yeah, this beef is like interpersonal within their whānaus. It's not like for us to be concerned about kind of vibes, eh?
Yeah. And it feels like it's, it is a whānau thing. It's the JTs and the Kapakingis. Yeah, it's between those fellas. Fuck, don't drag all of Te Ao Māori into your bullshit. Bloody hell.
Yeah, 100%.
Bleed it out onto everyone else. No way.
Yeah.
It is all weird. Like, the overspending stuff. I thought she overspent because she was spending her money on Takutai Tash Kemp's electorate stuff because she had to take the reins for it. And she's not allowed to take from Takutai Kemp's budget. She can't touch that budget, so she has to use her own budget. I thought that's what the money problem was. And to me, like...
It's turned out that she didn't overspend anyway. I'm pretty sure.
Well, Rawiri and Debbie were projected to overspend as well. And so, what is everyone talking about here?
Yeah.
And like, to me, if that's true, that Maria Menor was using the money to, support the other electorate, man, that's a trash move by Te Pati Maori's leadership to chase her for that. That's rubbish.
Yeah, I reckon that's really sad because even so for myself, even in the spaces I work in and the circles I have in my world, I can confidently say I have no idea who the heck I'm voting for this year because of all of this. Yeah, it's crazy. I need to get a bit more educated. So hopefully, I'll just figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to be for it.
Neither.
I probably will give my party vote to Te Pati Maori, literally because they're the biggest people in the shoe for the government, for the crown, and for, I guess, capitalism and neoliberalism and all of that. They're kind of them and the Greens are kind of the only stops for that. I couldn't go vote Labour, National, ACT, New Zealand First. Like, no way. And so I'm left with the Greens and the Māori Party. And I don't really love the Greens. They just got too much going on for me. Way too much going on for me.
It's funny, right, though, because Te Pati Maori got a lot going on right now, too.
I know, bro. Yeah, that's why I'm sitting there like, am I voting them?
It's funny you say that, though, around them being the people in the government shoe or whatever it was, your analogy. Because I've had a few kōrero with some kaimahi at my mahi, because they're unsure too, because all the last few years have been 2-6 Māori, they're tough. And now they're sort of unsure. And I've sort of had the kōrero to them around. It's sort of like we just need to get them in there so they have to deal with what we dealt with the last 3 years.
Yeah.
They're never going to be a major part of the government, but they'll be a minority part of it, of the coalition. And it'll stop those bullshit policies coming through and take direct attacks on our future for our mokopuna. And I think on the bright side as well, we got some awesome young MPs on the come up in their party as well.
Hati. Yeah.
And I think naturally they'll find their way to the top. It might take some time, but, they sort of stand for what? Sort of like my generation, our kohanga kids, the kohanga generation, what our whakaaro is on everything. That's sort of where they operate and how they operate. So I think, if we can, get them and get them having a crack at some policies and things like that while they're in government, it will just help them continue to grow as well for the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna, I probably will vote for them because they're the only party that are gonna push change like Matike Mai. They're the only ones that are gonna try to shift change into a way that doesn't look like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like people fearmonger Māori with the idea of communism a lot. And they say they use that as a tool to scare everyone else because communism, when it's played out, can get really ugly. If you think of histories like China's history and times in Russia and stuff like that, like they get really bad. And that's actually what really scared me about Kitty and what she was doing and justifying her means by saying that's for the mokopuna because people over in those countries justified their means as well. And so I get scared when she says stuff like that. But yeah, they're the people in the show and I think they're the only chance we have at constitutionalizing Te Tiriti.
Yeah.
And actually cementing that as our foundation for us to then grow from. And I don't think people or either people are so simple or whatever it is that, they can't understand that it's not just democracy and communism. Like people made those ideas And so we can also make a new idea. And it's just this kind of like, if we keep this government, then we're just going to look like a little America.
Yeah.
That's all we got. That's the road we're going down. And so,
Yeah.
but on that fucking Kohanga generation, bro, I think they're staunch, and they're not gonna let the government make us a part of Australia. You know, like those generations aren't about that life. They're a lot different to our parents and our grandparents' generations.
Yeah.
They're staunch and they're whakaaro and tūturu to it. And
100%.
so like, yeah, I mean, I can see why then someone like Winston Peters wants to get rid of those Māori seats, because shit's coming down the fucking road in 20 years.
Yeah.
Population 50%. Good luck. Your
bro.
old ways won't work anymore.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too. You talk about communism and that. And before this government got in, there were quite a few things in place sort of trying to look at things like co-governance and the development of Te Aka Whaora, you know, which got scrapped without even being given a chance.
Yep. Three waters.
Three waters. There was like certain things that were being put in place. And there was a massive document here, Purpua, I think it was called.
Yep.
And they had a massive plan, and it talked about how co-governance actually works, you know, and how it actually operates compared to how the old bullhead just thinks, oh, no, these Maoris are going to control everything. I can't do anything anymore.
Yep.
But actually talked about it in the practical sense, how it'd be utilised in projects, frameworks, how government would work, things like that, where it's not like your people, my people, or you guys control this, we control that. It's just like shared agreement, and it's just like understanding both worlds, understanding both like opinions on things, and it's all like one stronger than the other. It's like the equal, and that's how we are as Māori. It's not like we're not going to try to tell you what to do, but we'd like it if you don't tell us what to do as well. We'd like to have a cordial around it and find a solution.
Yes. Hard out, bro. Yeah. And
like, I feel like, you know, they all got stopped in their tracks with this government, and there was so much mahi done, so much research, I bet you so much taxpayers' money put into all this research.
Yep.
And it all been, you know, checked off, and it was all being put in place, and it all got scrapped. And now if, you know, Te Pati Maori come back in with a coalition government of Labour or whoever, it's going to be going back for, you know, starting again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's back to step one again. So I think too, like, when we're voting, we're going to look at how the different parties are campaigning on, if they're going to go back to that, if their policies are going to replace some policies that were repealed. You know, like things like that, just trying to work out where people's heads are in terms of things for us as Māori. So I think that's important, because, you know, it was looking good, it was looking promising. Even us working at Māori organisations on the bigger level with the CEOs and that, they were starting to dream big, coming up with awesome kaupapa.
Yes,
and there's things that we're connecting with government organisations, non-government organisations, and things are really starting to churn, and it all just stopped dead in its tracks. So yeah, it's something I'll be looking into for each party, just to get an understanding as well.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, because this current government, while I don't like their decisions, they were able to make them and get them through really quick. So then one thing I would love to know is that, whoever is in next, if they're going to backpedal some of the stuff, that the decisions that have been made, are they going to be able to do it just as quick, or are they going to say, oh, I don't know, you know? Like, if you can do it one way really quick, surely you can do it the other way really quick, and I would love for a straight answer on those types of questions.
Yeah. Oh, Labour is not about that. They're not about that at all. They don't move quickly. They move quite peacefully, and, you know, they also are just national and red. They're not much different to national. Like, if you look through history, we had Rogernomics and stuff like that was started by the Labour Party and then continued by the National Party. And those sort of things changed the way our collective bargaining rights and all of that sort of stuff, our collective ownership, all of that sort of stuff. It privatized everything. And so, like, they are a lot the same snake at times.
Yeah.
Not completely, but like
there's
similar. Like, they, you know, they all care about big business, their donors, and like the they have very different whakaaro to what I think Te Tiriti would bring to the table, and why I think that they don't constitutionalize it, because it's a different model to just letting anyone come in and take.
I think there's a bit of a side note, but I think too, like recently, especially in this campaign, leading up to this campaign for these elections, seen like stuff on social media from the actual party's social media accounts,
Buzzy, eh?
like the memes, the AI generated stuff. It's
Yeah,
like, bro, are you back at school making memes about each other, and just like it's degrading? You know,
Yes.
like we're not America. Like, what happened to our respect amongst parties? Like, I understand politics, but at the same time, like, why are we degrading, demeaning these other parties? You know, why don't you talk about the positive things you've been doing? You know, even National Party with the cherry pick statistics that they use without providing context to try and make the opposition look bad. You know, like, that's better than putting out that rubbish AI generated stuff that just looks horrible. You know, like there was one talking about Maori Party, and they had abolished prisons, and they had all of the criminals of, what's his name?
Who? From where?
Rawiri
Labour?
Watiti in the front.
Yeah.
You know? And there's another one with
saw
Labour,
that.
with all the big tax money bags in his hands, and give me all your taxes, and it was just horrible.
Yeah. Propaganda,
like,
bro.
Yeah, it's propaganda. I'm like, what is this? Why can't we see something positive?
It's
I got something positive.
It's definitely that Trump shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
have you watched Trump's
Yeah.
like campaigning stuff? Whoever his social media team is actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like the songs they use for his stuff, like they used Usher's Daddy's Home
Yeah.
for one of his things. And no, it was him going to the UN. And so he was going to the UN, and they played Daddy's Home over him meeting all these UN people, presidents and prime ministers and shit. And it's just him, Daddy's Home and slow-mo, and it's hilarious. It's actually hilarious. But I don't know, we're not American, bro. Stop acting like it. You know?
Exactly. And like, have some professionalism, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you guys are literally in charge of our whole country.
Yeah.
And you're posting that rubbish. Like, you know, it just doesn't sit right with me. If it was a shit posting account, sweet as. But the fact it's coming directly from the National Party social media account, it's just like, really?
Yeah.
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 But I do, because there's like, I see funny stuff of like, I don't think they're a part of parties though, but, you know, they just rip the policy in funny ways. And like, do more of that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is the House of Clowns down there, bro. Like, I don't know if many people have ever watched Question Time and stuff like that, or watched Parliament TV, but they are just fools down there.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like watching a bunch of kids argue.
Yeah, it is.
So I was like, give me a new model, because this ain't it. If you guys are the ones that are like representing me, you can all boot it. To be honest, I'm not a fan of Te Pati Maori. I'm really not a fan of any parties or politics at all. Like, they all kind of are the same to me. As soon as you walk into that whare, then, well, you're one of them.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of distrust for all of them. Like, even down to JT, and like, well, look at what you're doing. But yeah. I found it interesting. I don't know if you guys know who Tanya Waikato is.
Yeah.
She's going to be running for the Greens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did see something, but I don't know if it was true. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's going to be running for the Greens. I'm not sure what seat it is. It might be Rawiri's seat. Rawiri Waititi's seat. She might be challenging him. But I thought that was weird. I was like, why don't you just take a general seat? Because I think she's got the support, the backing to take a general seat. She's got enough, like she's got a lot of tangata tiriti support. And so I'm like, I reckon she could take one of those. So I don't really get why she's trying to take a Māori seat.
Maybe she wants to replace Rawiri in that seat. Think she can do a better job.
No doubt.
Maybe there's whānau out there that think the same thing after the theatrics that have played out. So maybe she sees that as an opportunity to get in there.
I think it lacks strategy. Like, if she could take a general seat, then that just means more Māori in Parliament altogether. You know, leave the Māori seat or even have someone independent run against him, but
Yeah.
don't run in it for the Greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Greens say to, Hati Tiriti, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I still see them as a ball-led party.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's hard though, right? Because like you say, all parties are basically the same. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you need to give power to the people.
Yeah. Well, that's what a democracy is supposed to be, isn't it?
Something like that, eh?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why people think having people represent you is a good idea. That's. I'm like, make decisions for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Get clued up.
I'm going to have a little 1 minute rant again. We're being programmed though not to make decisions for ourselves. Like even like the algorithms on our phones, Netflix when we're watching them, Spotify when we listen. It's all
True.
decisions made for us. We don't curate our own playlists anymore. We don't curate like what we watch on TV. We used to have to get the remote and fight with our brother or our dad or our mum or our someone to be able to figure out what we wanted to watch. And we were curious and we'd like surf the channels. Nah. Anyway, I'm just saying, we're not going to make our own decisions because we've been programmed not to.
Well, hey. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I don't know, get people clued up, but you're not wrong with everything's a recommendation now, eh? Like, what's hot, 1 to 10 on Netflix, or, Spotify DJ, or those easy mixes. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like too, it's like we've lost some decision making, but I feel like there's been a lot of opinion making game.
Yes.
Like I feel like, Gen Z specifically, like they got an opinion for everything. Whether it's a positive, a negative, or neutral, they'll be able to have an opinion on everything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like before, opinions were less shared because you just fit into what your whānau believed in or whatever. But
That's
now,
true.
like the Gen Z generation has the ability or feels the freedom to have an opinion on whatever, do and be whatever. But that's sort of also crucial to think about when we're looking at the future of politics in New Zealand. Like, what is that going to look like? 10, 20 years from now when we have these younger ones coming through and they're not afraid of Winston Peters,
Nope.
demeaning them in Parliament. They're not afraid of anything.
Nah, not at all.
And then, everyone else is forming opinions on this new ones coming up and then their decision is on choosing them. So I feel like we still have those decisions to make, but if we have ones of great opinion making, it makes the decisions easier too.
Yeah. I like that. That's on, like, a bit about this podcast is definitely trying to flood a bit of the airways with just not the bullshit that comes out of National Actor New Zealand First. Because they've got such a strong network of people who toe their line, from the Atlas Network to Groundswell to the Taxpayers Union to Hobson's Pledge to Talkback ZB platform. All of these people have a single narrative that they push. And it's paid. It's paid for. Like, it's paid for. My thing is just like, man, New Zealand, you need to wake the fuck up because you're about to get taken on a hell of a ride and you're just sleeping. And, I bet we've got a lot of mates who hate politics, who don't want to engage with it and shit. But, by the time you care, it's going to be too late.
100%.
There's going to be nothing you can do by the time that you want to be invested in it, and now you want to make some decisions. They're going to have taken everything off you. Yeah. And so, man, you got to catch the robbers in the act. Don't try and go court later and get them. Catch them red-handed, touching that silverware. It's like, nah. Yeah. So, hopefully hopefully more people get a bit more engaged, or at least vote. I don't care if you're not that engaged in it, at least just turn up on the day.
Just make a decision. And it doesn't even have to be informed if you're really not engaged.
Yep.
Just choose one that you think you like. That's what I say to my friends who aren't involved. I'm like, this is who I like. This is who I'm looking at voting for, but make your own decision.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it doesn't matter who you vote for, as long as you can actually participate in the democracy and feel like, when it comes to the election results coming out, you were part of that in some shape or form.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do also find it interesting. You talk about national enacting that, and the thing that always gets under my skin is them talking about equal opportunity for all New Zealanders, equality, but they never talk about equity.
Yeah.
You know, like it's such a different concept. You know, giving $50 for someone that lives in Auckland for gas for the week, probably not going to work. $50 to someone who lives in Palmy for the week, they'll probably survive.
Mm, mm,
But that's
yeah,
equal
true.
opportunity, equal
Yeah.
funds given to two people.
Yeah.
They'll be considered equal if you look
Well,
at it from
even-
their perspective.
Same as like, I get $50 and then the dude who's already a millionaire gets $50. And it's
Exactly.
like, did he need $50? What did he need $50 for? Well, I need $50 because shit, we're on a single wage, so I'll take the 50. But
Yeah.
oh man,
But look,
really?
we're all
Needed
equal
it?
now. We're all equal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy the way they spin it, because if you don't know any better, it sounds so good.
It
You know,
does.
like they were all going to get the same, and like everyone's going to have the same opportunities. And the way that they spin it, even sometimes I'm like, yeah, man, that sounds so good. And I'm like, no, I know better than this, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about everyone getting the same. We don't all need the same.
No.
And I always think about this one thing. So when I was a kid, I think I was like 12 or 13. I can't remember if I've shared this on here before. I was going over to Australia, and from like 12 years old, I had been working. So I had some savings, and then my younger siblings didn't. So my dad gave them money, but didn't give me any money. And I was pissed. I was so mad. Like, oh, I worked so hard, and I just like, my siblings was going to be handed money. Like, what did I even bother for? Now, obviously, as an adult, I can reflect on that situation and understand why my dad gave them money and not me. They didn't have a job like I did. I didn't need it, you know? And so now I can have this totally different perspective. And I just think, yeah, it's not about being unfair. That was still fair. I just didn't see it that way at the time.
Mm.
Yeah. Their equal rights lie is buzzy, because they're really saying equal rights for businesses to have equal rights to humans. It's not equal right. They don't care about Joe Blow on the right. They care about big business, and that's what they want their rights for, is so that they can have all the same property rights as a human does. It's like, bro, get out of here, bro. You don't need that. What are you gonna do with all those billions anyway, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hoha, and people do fall for it. They do love, like it tastes nice, right? It's easy on the ears, it's palatable, and it makes you feel good. And if you only see the shittiness of what's portrayed on media around Te Pati Maori and things like that, and all the propaganda stuff around like groundswell free waters and all of that sort of stuff, then, and what all you hear is that for Maori to have, they have to take off you. Then yeah, you get up in your grover and you support them.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, like the funny one is our older people that are on Facebook and stuff like that, and where they get their information from. Because I've even had my old man like hit me up and start talking about these Somalians and kindergarten stuff in America, and I was like, hold up, bro, where are you getting your info from? And he showed me, now I was like, hell no, bro. Here, go read this, go watch this, because that's absolute bullshit what you're listening to. And I was like, and he showed me the dude. I was like, no, don't listen to that dude, man. I was like, so it's interesting, the creep that's starting to happen onto like people's socials, especially people who aren't clued up about all of it.
Mm.
That's so true. Okay, final thoughts on this topic. What do you reckon?
Sort your shit. Get your act together, TPM. Jesus. I'm probably still going to vote Te Pati Maori, but, oh man, the stink thing is that I might vote Te Pati Maori, but I might actually have to get off the roll so I can vote for someone else, as in give my second vote to someone else and just give them my party vote. That's the only stink thing. But yeah, I don't know. Constitutionalise Waitangi, build better relationships with the Pacific. Screw Australia. I want to be a part of them. It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I like what Nathan was saying before. I think for me, my takeaway will be, I'm just going to get a bit more clued up. I think 100%, I have heaps of opinions, but I just need to probably fine tune it and channel a bit more. Then I'll be able to share with my peers, you know, sort of the ones that don't know anyway. I mean, at this point, I'm in a space where I don't know. I'd say, like, this time last year, I was full, like, yeah, I know now, but I don't know anymore. So that's going to be me getting clued up in the next wee while.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's sort of getting clued up, but also just waiting and anticipating to see each party's campaign as we lead up to the election. I'll probably be quite invested because the previous election I already knew I was waiting for, and I just double checked when they, were going through their campaign, looked at the policies they were wanting to put in place.
Nice.
But this time round, I think it's Te Pati Maori, but also I'm giving every other party a chance to, campaign and win me over because although I think it's Te Pati Maori, I'm not fully convinced.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want to give everyone else a chance. I want to see what they're planning. I'll just looking forward to seeing what everyone's campaign is looking like. It's basically anyone's game, really, I feel like, because there's people, the swing voters are still not really liking Labour from, the last time they were in government, even though some things were out of their control. There's some other swing voters that aren't really liking what the next government's doing.
Yeah.
So there's like so many swing voters that are, up for grabs, for like to have a better word.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just looking
That's
forward to
interesting.
seeing what happens.
That's interesting, like you're talking quickly about the things that were out of Labour's control. I just saw yesterday that Nicola Willis is going to, they're doing like some sort of report or investigation into the Reserve Bank's actions during the COVID and stuff, and how, I guess, how much money they just gave out to everyone. But they're using that in a way that the report comes out 6 weeks before the elections. And so, for all those swing voters that were wondering, still thinking what to do, that's going to come out 6 weeks before the elections hit. And that's going to, they're going to use that to just fire it up a little bit, put more blame on Labour and everything like that. Like it's so,
Oh my God,
it's so
smart,
plain and simple. But it's the crazy thing is it might be smart, but it's so obvious.
Yeah.
But it will get
obvious.
people. It will get people. So that's going to be a bit ratchet. But yeah.
I think it'll be easier to challenge too, though. Like, there's lots of influence on social media that challenge the things the government does, and they'll tear that right apart, And there's a lot of young voters that go to social media for their politics, to understand politics. So I feel like two people will be able to pull all of that apart and just go, you're doing this 6 weeks before election. This happened, 4 or 5 years ago. Why are you doing this report now? You've been in government for 3 years. Why'd you wait right up until election to do this?
Hard out, bro. I've got a hangover from COVID, man, and I'm over it. I'm like, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, man,
Can't we move on already?
Hard out, bro. Like, man, COVID hurt a lot of people. I lost jobs, blah, 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 blah. God, I had my cry, got over it, moved on. Why can't you? It's like, Jesus.
Exactly.
And if it's going to let me. And it's not. And it's not going to let me. So that's cool. That's so awesome. I just got some potluck pics from some of the crews out there, and someone was asking what your people's thoughts were on the Super Bowl halftime show and the Turning Point alternate show. So I'll give that up. Either use.
I'll go for the Super Bowl halftime show. I thought that was one of the biggest FUs the colonizers ever done. Like, I thought it was just awesome on America's biggest stage. And that's what they call it. The bro just went out there and fully expressed every aspect of his culture unapologetically. Done it all in Spanish and didn't care that only half the crowd could understand him. He just done it because that's who he is. That's what he knows. And he just done it and expressed it on the biggest stage in America. And all the bullheads got so upset about it. They're all complaining. But at the same time, it's just like, yes, that's what we need more of in this world. Challenge the norm, break the mainstream, and express yourself. So I thought that was just awesome.
I think, all the messaging, the way that it was done, the fact that, he spoke Spanish the whole time, except those 3 words, God bless America. But then what he was really saying was that, right? Yeah. So I loved it too. It's really entertaining to watch. I love even just watching the commentary and stuff at the moment. Everyone, sharing their thoughts and things like that. The only like little asterisks I'm going to put or thoughts that's outside of how cool it is was like, yeah, he was paid and yeah, he did this amazing thing. And yes, it was an FU to the colonizers and all that. But did America low-key use him to incite more division? Like, was that really their goal? Like the people behind the Super Bowl choosing him? Like, was
Yeah.
it really the opposite of what we're getting, being so far removed? I don't know. That's just my little. I don't want to poo-poo it because I loved it, but
Yeah.
there was just one little thought in my head. It's like, yeah, just with all that ice stuff and etc.
100%.
happening.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
to add to what you just said, like the way how he said God bless America at the end, and nothing was really anti the colonizer or anything. It was just an expression of his culture. And he said, God bless America. And because of all the stuff that's going on with ICE agents, removing people dying, all that sort of thing, he could have used the opportunity to protest, against that sort of thing. He could have used the opportunity for, to, talk down on ICE or whatever it may be. But he chose to try and do it through positive, almost money-enhancing messaging.
Yeah.
And then to finish it off with God bless America, the only words in English, to, say that, he likes America, he appreciates them, and he just shared his culture to them.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of saw it, and I feel like that's how a lot of people interpreted it. But there's always the odd racist that is going to go, oh, no, Spanish, I didn't understand it, I had to turn it off, blah, blah, blah. And they're always going to be, in their own little section. They'll create their own division.
Because it was at the most, well, this is what I was reading, the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show ever in history.
Well.
So, yeah, okay, people didn't understand it, but they tuned in, man, like on mass numbers.
Yeah, I
like
didn't get to.
Millions, like.
Yeah, hard. And you're right. That's the biggest stage for America. That's the biggest sport for America. Like Americans. That's their jam. But yeah, I didn't get to watch it all. But what I did get to see, it was like the art in it was amazing. Like the way he told the story, and it seemed like he was paying, respect to all of the hard mahi or trades that they had done to help establish America. And I thought it was cool. The alternate halftime show just cracked me up. It was so weird. I was just like, what is this shit, bro? This is so crazy.
And it's like all white people performing, and it was recorded like 2 weeks prior. It wasn't live. That's what I read online as well. And I'm like,
and the thing that I found super strange was what I saw posted was Charlie Kirk's page, and I was like, isn't this dude dead? I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, bro, is your wife taking your page still or using it or something? I was like, this is weird, bro. Like a dead man shouldn't be posting this sort of shit.
nah. I was gonna say as well, Bad Bunny's like his main message is around doing things with love. Like not hate, even if you hate someone, like to show love and all these things. So like, yeah, what you're saying, Nathan, it totally tracks in the way that he portrayed his message. And I think it's cool that it's amazing, someone so famous and has a platform like that can do that. And what I feel in a genuine way and stay true to himself and his people, it's pretty magical.
All right, whānau, do you want to do another one? I've kept you here for a decent chunk of time. I know you've both got whānaus and things to do. It's Friday as well, so, just give me a bit of time, or you guys want to do another one?
One more question, just go for it.
Yeah, one more.
Because I know the bro makes a bit of music, and he's a bit of a rapper. Someone dropped in Spotify as a rip at the moment, and so obviously there's been a lot of people trying to move off Spotify, or making a lot of noise about the amount of money being divvied out by Spotify to artists. So what's the alternative, or do you just stay on it?
Well, that's the thing, right? Spotify has been developed to be so user-friendly. The user interface, the way you can discover new music on Spotify too, the way they now have those short snippets of songs you can just scroll like it's a TikTok or a reel, and it just plays like snippets of songs, and it'll be in a theme like reggae or hip hop and R&B, things like that. And I've seen conversations about this online too, and it's always the main thing that pops up is the new music discovery. Like Spotify's top of the game. But I think too, right, like artists getting paid for streams just doesn't exist. Like obviously the best artists in the world make a bit of cash, but like even if you're cracking 100,000 streams like in a month, you're still not getting that much money because it's like 0.0000 like cents per fucking like
Play.
stream, per play. So it adds up if you get lots, but it doesn't matter what thing you're sort of on. You're never really going to make your money from streams. You're going to make your money
Yeah.
from touring, shows, gigs, however you do it.
Yeah.
And I think that the approach from artists just needs to be is like your streaming platforms is just your marketing like platform, and it's just a bit of extra pocket change. Because if all the artists were to get paid what they think or what we think they should get paid, we'd be paying hundreds of dollars just to subscribe to Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. So for them to keep it affordable for the consumer, the artist has to miss out. But what the artist does gain is exposure and other things.
Yeah.
That's my perspective, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely noticed the marketing side of things. Like, I started to see people putting up their tour dates and things like that on their Spotify accounts and stuff, and that becomes their background to their music and things. And I guess now that they've moved into like the whole YouTube, like music video clips and podcast clips, like full footage, they kind of maybe taking a bit of YouTube's market as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of thought, like, these fellas, surely Spotify must make a lot of cash. So it must be able to afford to pay some of them a bit better.
Yeah.
But Buzzy, I never thought about that. Just that's not the place you make your money. You got to tour. You got to go grind. It wasn't a replacement for the grind.
Yeah. Because back in the day, right, you're selling records or CDs, and it's, a set price per unit, and you can actually make a profit from that, and it's decent. But now in the world of streaming, like, it's reduced, so your money is in the live shows in there.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
For me, I still have Spotify, and I don't know. Don't come at me. I'm just lazy. Probably like some other people out there, okay?
I'm keeping Spotify, bro. Like, that's not going anywhere for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, hard. Like, moving to Apple Music? No, bro. I'm not buying an iPhone. Not a chance. Going to Tidal? Nah, bro. Jay-Z's caught up in those files, bro. I ain't part of that.
Exactly. I think the only one that's sort of comparable was YouTube Music.
Yeah.
Because they've been developing that, and it's been coming a long way. Or come along a long way. But yeah, I still think like Spotify's the top of the game, right? Why use anything else when it's the best to use as a consumer?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, artists, we're not backing you, so we're going to keep listening to Spotify. So get your hustles on, start touring. I'm too poor to come and watch you, but someone else is rich enough.
Come to Palmy, we'll come watch you.
$20 tickets. Oh, well, I haven't got much for announcements today. There's a event that will be happening down at Legacy Church on the 28th of Feb. Summer Vibes. It's a whānau day. Goes from 12 till 4. Other than that, you guys got any announcements? Anything on?
No.
Nah, just a big FU to all of those fellas that are at UB40 tomorrow. I wish you could be there. Oh, all right. Well, I guess that's us. Thank you, bro, for coming on and jamming with us.
Sweet as.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it was wicked. Enjoyed that.
It was fun.
Yeah, main. Well, that's the deal, whānau. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked our half-baked takes and our half-cooked opinions. Then, tune in for some more.